Woohoo! Hello, Wellness Fam, and welcome to our very first episode of Dungeons and Wellness. Woo! Very excited to have you all here. I am Michelle, your DM, and we are joined by our amazing players. First to introduce himself, let's have Steve.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Cool.
Please, Steve, can you tell us about your character that you'll be playing today?
Oh, so my character today will be the young Rand Thornton. He's a 17-year-old farm boy from the village of Denaria. He's never left the village. He's quite sheltered to the outside world. And his family's been living here for generations. They have a pretty decent-sized farm. And his only worries for right now this evening is who is he going to ask to dance at the Pumpkin Festival tonight?
Oh, Rand.
Yeah.
He has big things on his mind.
He does.
All right. Well, thank you for introducing us to Rand. We also have, of course, the one and only Dru.
Hi, gang.
Hi.
What up?
I'm playing the character Caesar. He's a high elf wizard of the Greyhawk High Elves, so he's chill. He's kind of he comes from a privileged background, overeducated, kind of has bounced around through different teachers, but he's kind of a more bookish than pragmatic about things. So he's also new to this whole this world of adventure. Yeah.
Amazing. And I'm glad that we're all new to this world of adventure, to Dungeons and Wellness, and also to DMing. In my case, this is my own adventure in DMing. So for all you viewers out there, if you happen to catch me slipping up once or twice, please forgive me. Please have patience. I am learning just like the rest of us. So at this point, I am also very excited to announce our very first guest of the day, who, by the way, is also called Michelle!
Hello. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm playing a halfling ranger named Nifty, and she travels around with her pet fish on a little backpack.
A little pet fish. And Michelle, as our guest of the day, I just wanted to ask you real quick, or first I wanted to say thank you so much for being here with us. It is an honor to have you.
Nice to be here.
Oh, yes. And is there anything in particular that brings you to Dungeons and Wellness? What brings you here today?
I love everything that Dungeons and Dragons stand for, and especially what you're doing here in Dungeons and Wellness. And I just want to give back to the world and, educate and bring awareness to whatever we're doing and anything in the mental health sphere. So,
oh, I love that. Thank you so much. And another thing that I also want to do for our guests is to give you like an opportunity to plug any initiatives or anything that you are currently working on in, your own personal life, anything you're particularly passionate about. So please take the stage. Educate us, Michelle. What is it that you love and care about?
So I currently support the charity called Extra Life that represents gamers just like you and me and everybody else specifically. And they support the Children's Hospital Miracle Network. And they have hospitals all around the United States as well as Canada. I'm currently supporting the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital. And all funds go to that specific hospital to raise funds for, critical funds for the workers themselves and for, random entertainment for the children. Gaming is a great way to keep them engaged and to allow them to, escape from, the realities of why they have to be in that hospital. So.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah. And just wondering, you said you were supporting the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
how did you choose that hospital?
Oh, so neither here nor there, but I used to work in the Pittsburgh area, and last year I also did this initiative as well. I chose the Children's Hospital National in Washington, D.C. So it's kind of just where I've lived and worked throughout the years. So, and next year I'll try to pick a different hospital.
Oh, wow. So kind of giving back to a community that hosted you for a little while.
Yeah. But Michelle, I hear that you're also in my Extra Life team.
Yes, Michelle. Some of this conversation may have been staged. Because yes, I am also, I am so passionate about caring for the kids. For the last 8 years, I was a middle and high school classroom teacher. And so, the kids really have a special place in my heart. And you can't help but to love them. And so just out of a place of love and compassion for the kids, when you told me about your own mission to help the children's hospitals, I immediately wanted to help. And I also have an extra connection because when I was growing up, I struggled a lot with chronic asthma. And I had really bad childhood asthma growing up, where I would just have spontaneous asthma attacks like in the middle of the night while I was sleeping. And so it was a dangerous kind of situation for me. And I spent a lot of time in children's hospitals receiving inpatient care. And so this mission kind of has a personal aspect for me. And I also wanted to help to spread the message that even if you and people are not currently in or around a children's hospital, these are still essential and very important resources for the community as a whole. And so supporting a children's hospital is such a beautiful thing to do. But in terms of support, now you can support through donations, for instance. Michelle and I, we have our team page. You can donate financially. But Michelle, what are some other ways to get involved besides just financial donations?
Sure, yeah. I mean, just like how we are in our specific Extra Life team, the Haberdashery of Healing, please have a look around at your local community of different ways you can help. There are many different organizations and nonprofits that you can look for. Just simply search around and ask if you can help.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, all you have to do is ask. You never know.
As an EMT and lifelong asthmatic, I appreciate all that.
Well, Steve, I didn't know. We have that in common.
Yes.
Yay! Of all things to have in common. But wow, so thank you, Michelle, for kind of bringing that into our lives. What an amazing mission.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And now there is one more beautiful mind behind the curtain who I hate to leave waiting any longer. So allow me to please introduce Kim.
Hello.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Doing all right. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Would you like to share a little bit about what brings you to Dungeons and Wellness?
Sure. So I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I am the therapist consultant of the team. So basically, when we're talking about when we're talking about mental health issues, I'll pitch in to talk about it, especially in our Clarity episode, which is every other after our play episode.
That's right. That's right. Make sure you tune in next week for our Clarity episode, where we break down everything that happened in today's play episode. And Kim, thank you so much for being part of our team. Having your insight from the more the clinical perspective is so amazing. And what a great opportunity for us to spread this knowledge that a lot of the time is only accessible through payment. And a lot of the time, people can't afford mental health care, but they do need it. And so being able to spread this kind of knowledge through platforms like this, where people can access it for free, is so empowering and just so great for the community. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. So at this point, we have our beautiful cast and crew introduced. What do you say we jump into our story?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Woo!
Do we want Kimberly and Michelle to wait backstage until they come on, or should we keep them on?
I'm backstage. I'll do it.
Yeah, we can put Kim back behind the curtain. But I think Michelle we can keep up on
Okay.
stage.
Excellent.
All right. Yay.
Are we in the right map in Roll20?
Yes, we are.
Alrighty.
Okay. Also, we are airing this on November 12th, 2021, which is the day after Veterans Day. So before we begin, as we get the map ready, I do want to give a shout out to the veterans out there. And I want to say thank you so much for your service.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the level of sacrifice, the level of courage that a soul needs to have in order to kind of go into that kind of situation and be willing to give so much for their country is remarkable. And one thing that I do want to say before we jump in is also that while Veterans Day is a celebration for many, it can also be something that can potentially be triggering and can bring back old traumas for people who have spent time serving in the armed forces. And so if on Veterans Day you see a veteran and you say, "Oh, hey, happy Veterans Day, thank you for your service," they may not always respond in the most bright and cheerful way, but don't take that personally, because coming back from such a stressful situation can ultimately cause a lot of trauma and stress that people need to work through at their own pace, in their own time. And so this Veterans Day, I just want to give a shout out to all the veterans who are on their own trauma recovery process, doing the work wherever you are. We see you. We thank you for your service. And yes, please do that self-care. You deserve it.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Drew, how we doing on that map?
Can bring it on up now.
All right. Woohoo! Here we are, Dungeons and Wellness, the very first scene. Dun, dun, dun. Welcome to our three lovely characters, Caesar, Rand, and Nifty. Here you are. You find yourselves in a barn, or at least something that looks like a barn. It's a big open area, kind of run down, and you hear outside the walls of the barn, you can tell that it is a dark and stormy night. Oh my, very dark and very stormy. So, standing in this barn, you look around. And at first, you don't see very much. But you do hear, as you wait, you start to hear the sounds of somebody very passionately delivering a speech. You hear coming from the other side of the barn. "The outsiders, they hate us because we know the truth. Denari is the way. Denari is the light. She will punish the naysayers for their willful ignorance. The sounds of the rain continue on the rooftop. The winds batter the walls.
Do I recognize, since I live here, do I recognize the speaker's voice?
That's right, you do live here. You do recognize the speaker's voice. You recognize it as like basically the local village leader.
Okay. That would be Farmer Cranach.
Farmer Cranach?
Yeah, I was thinking about asking out his daughter Morgan to the pumpkin festival tonight. What's going on here?
I've heard good things about the pumpkin festival. What kind of stuff goes on around there?
Oh, dancing and just talking about pumpkins and more dancing and food and pumpkin pie and cookies and cakes and giving thanks for the harvest.
My, it sounds so
Preparing for
lovely.
the fall.
And can I also just say, I know that we probably should see what's going on with the speech over here, but I'm really excited to be in this barn with you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
It's a nice barn, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we came here together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go see what's going on at this speech.
Yeah, well, we can check it out. Is that the plan? We want to go?
Well, can we stay inside and listen for a bit, or is there a way to just like walk in there, or what do you guys want to do? Listen for a while, maybe see what's going on, or just walk in and see what's going on?
No, I don't see nothing wrong with walking in.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's go for it.
All right, you can move your characters over. You should be able to control them. Let me know if you can't.
Okay.
Nice. All right, so you walk deeper into the barn, further and further away from the safety of the light behind you. And as you walk into the depths, the bowels of this structure, you come upon a scene where you see a small crowd of villagers all gathered together. And they're all facing the furthest wall of the barn, where when you look up, you notice that there's some sort of balcony running all around the edges of the barn. And up there on the balcony is standing none other than Farmer Cranach himself, excitedly gesticulating and talking about the outsiders, the willfully ignorant.
Okay, what's he saying?
He's saying stuff.
Right.
I start hyping up because Father Cranach seems very hyped about whatever he's saying.
Yeah, I'll walk in there.
I'm a little bit nervous just on account of not being. These are all humans, right?
Yes.
So they're humans. I'm a high elf, and I'm overeducated, so I generally am sensitive when people start talking about the outsiders, and they're a bunch of humans. So I'm a little bit wary, but not super gung ho about what's going on.
Okay. And so as you stand there and you continue to listen, you notice that Farmer Cranach is saying things like, "Don't talk to those outsiders. They don't know the truth."
I'll raise my hand and I'll say, hello there, Mr. Cranach. Rand, hello. He doesn't usually, I don't think he really likes me too much because he knows I have eyes on Morgan. So I'll say,
yes, Rand.
How's your daughter, sir?
Does anybody else have any questions?
Well, actually, sir, I have a question. What's going on here? What do you mean? Who are the outsiders?
Oh, Rand, I always knew you were trouble. Everybody else take note. This is what you should not be doing. When there is one person who wants to keep you safe, don't question that authority. Rand, all I want to do is to protect you from those who would hurt you, from those who would take you away from the light. And yet you question me?
Sorry, sir. I just don't know what you're talking about.
Suddenly, you hear loud crash of thunder. Lightning streaks through the barn. Well, not the lightning itself, the illumination from the lightning. The illumination streaks through the barn, and the sound of rolling thunder booms through the walls, shaking dust from the rafters. You notice one of the townsfolk seems extremely disturbed.
I'll go over and I'll ask him what's the matter? What's going on?
The thunder, it's scary. I can't do it.
Can't do what?
I can't stay here. Sir, excuse me. Can I go to the bathroom or something?
You know how these community meetings work. Once you are here, you stay here the whole time.
Do I see
You
my
can't
parents
miss
here?
anything. What?
Are my
Can I at
parents
least
here?
get my shirt?
It's your fault for coming here without a shirt. You know the rules. You get here, you stay here. No shirt for you.
Yes, sir.
I'll take off my cloak and I'll give it
Oh, thank you.
my friend here. I assume we know each other since we live in this small community.
Thank you so
There you
much.
I'm looking around for my parents. Why are they not at the community meeting? And I didn't know we were even having a community meeting tonight. We're supposed to be going to the pumpkin festival tonight. That's what's supposed to be going on.
Rand, you should stay home tonight. There's no one of interest at the pumpkin festival.
I'll think myself under my breath, well, yeah, your daughter's going to be there. That's a person of interest to me. But anyway, yes, what? No one of interest. Everybody will be there tonight, sir.
And he gives you kind of like the eye, like, I know what you're up to. Gives you the stink eye.
Oh,
And then
turn around like, no.
So Farmer Krennic is about to start a new sentence when all of a sudden you hear a knock on the barn door. Back from where you came in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get
Another
it.
knock.
Who could it be? I throw open the door, and as I'm hurrying through with my 25 speed, my fishbowl backpack keeps slushing about, and a lot of water keeps displacing. My fish doesn't matter. He's fine. So I open the door.
And when you open the door, you see first in front of you a very cheerful looking dwarf.
Oh,
Follow-
hi, you're my size.
So I am. Hello, fellow small one.
Hello.
And he turns and he says, "This is Lady Evelyn."
Hi.
And you turn and you see a beautifully tall, graceful, willowy elf with a clearly hand-carved bow and quiver of arrows on her back. She looks down at you and she says, "Hello."
I like your bow.
"And I like your fish."
His name is Quippy.
"Hello, Quippy." He seems very polite.
Quippy starts swimming circles in his bowl.
As you're talking to Lady Evelyn, you see a shadow slip around you and sneak into the barn. Lady Evelyn says, Soup, come on. Soup, you have to at least introduce yourself. So the little shadow turns around and says, hello, I am Soup.
Hi, Soup.
And you see that the shadow is the same height as you, but wrapped up in a cloak.
What brings you guys here?
Dimly is, the dwarf over here. He says, well, my name is Dimly. We were out adventuring. It's rainy. My armor is soaked and my beard is very uncomfortable and itchy. Can we come inside?
Of course, of course. This barn is for everybody.
Yeah! And Dimly charges. He barrels forward. And Lady Evelyn daintily, gracefully steps in. Then you hear a voice from the back of the barn. Who is that? Who has come to Denaria today?
Sir, if you could keep your voice down, that would be great.
I'll go and I'll check out what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go as well. I don't want to be in this room with all of these crazy humans.
Okay. So, all right. So, Farmer Cranach is still screaming, come back here! Come back here! And Kim, you said, oh, please be quiet. When you say, please be quiet, stop shouting, then the other villagers start to crowd around and they start trying to shush you. Shh, shh, shh. They're kind of shh.
Okay,
Be quiet.
okay. I got it.
So once everybody has gathered around these three adventurers, that's when they introduce themselves to the rest of you. So Lady Evelyn, Soup kind of sneaks over to the side, and Lady Evelyn bows to all of you. She gives an especially deep bow to Caesar, recognizing a fellow elven spirit. And she says, hello. I am Lady Evelyn. We have been traveling for a very long while. And we got caught in this sudden storm. I really appreciate your hospitality, letting us in here. This was the only place we saw for miles in every direction.
I'll tell them, well, come in and dry yourselves off. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome here.
Thank you so much for your gracious hospitality. I should introduce my fellow adventurers. This is the dwarf you see over here to my left. This is Dimly, my partner in combat and also in life. And Dimly, the dwarf, he's very burly. He has twinkling, mischievous eyes. And he says, that's right. This tall drink of water is all mine, baby. Lady Evelyn rolls her eyes.
Weird thing to say, Dimly. All right.
Lady Evelyn rolls her eyes. Thanks, Dimly. And then she gestures over to Soup and she says, that's Soup. Soup? And what you see is Soup is actually darting towards the back of the barn. And Soup is making his way over.
What is Soup?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Soup is a halfling rogue.
Okay.
Yes. So
Well, I'm all wide-eyed at this point, so I realize these are adventurers. I've heard of people who do this, but I've never actually seen them.
yeah. And so Soup is trundling along. Oh, sorry.
I'm like going off a mile a minute, like, well, what have you done? What have you seen? Is it true about this dragon and this princess and all like probably hokey stuff that he probably heard about it, campfire tales and whatnot. Probably make them roll their eyes.
Yeah. Well, who are you saying that to?
All of them. All the adventurers that I've never seen.
Well, on that note, Dimly says, "Oh, my boy, wait till you hear all of the adventures I have been on. I mean, we have been on. Yes."
Oh, yes, please. I'd love to know. I'm enraptured at this point.
I'd also like to know. I'm very interested in adventuring one day.
It's so bullying around here, guys. We never get to do anything.
I know.
I've always dreamed about putting down my rake and my shovel and just seeing what's outside the world. But my parents, they won't let me go.
I'm just a little bit concerned about Soup. He seems to be going into a crowd of proto-nationalists of some variety, and he's not human, and he's dressed in a way that is going to make humans freak out. So I'm a little bit concerned about Soup at the moment, but I'm also pretty excited about the adventure stories that are going on. That's pretty dope too. But Soup is a concern of mine.
Well, as you look back at Soup, you see Soup kind of hovering by the door, the partition in the middle of the barn, and Soup's eyes are fixed on the villager who is still trembling and crying and shaking, and kind of, trying to cover their ears because of Farmer Krennic's loud screaming.
Like right now, I'm just asking them all about Waterdeep and the Fey Rune and
yes,
everything in the Forgotten Realms that I think I know about, but I know absolutely nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done this? Have you been there? Have you done that?
And Dimly is excitedly answering all your questions. And from, Caesar, with your worldly experience, you can tell that Dimly is probably making up like 35 to 40% of his stories, but he's just having a great time. And then we did this, and then I threw my battle axe, and then Soup did this amazing move, and just making up all these wild, fantastical tales while Rand watches, enamored. Meanwhile, in the back of the barn, Soup, still looking at that villager, attempts to catch their gaze and make eye contact.
I'm going to pop over to Soup. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I see something in the shadows, and then I scream. Ah! What was that? Guys, look! It's over there!
And Soup slowly comes out of the shadows, holding two hands up. And Soup looks at you and says, "I see you. You are not alone." And then Soup turns around and sweeps away.
It's so creepy. Guys, did you see that? God.
And then Soup comes back and joins the group.
Do I hear yelling coming from there still, or?
Kim, are you still yelling?
No.
Or Farmer Krennic, spewing out his ministry. Is there still a commotion from the other room there, or?
At this point, thank you for asking. At this point, Farmer Krennic is focusing on your guys' conversation, and when he sees you noticing him, he says, Hey, what are you talking about over there?"
Thinking, wow, he's acting really weird tonight. What's going on?
All right.
Like
if you are trying to talk to my villagers, then I think we should all get together in a place where we can be a little closer together. I don't like you whispering in the shadows over there. Let's do this the right way.
Fine, I guess.
So at this point, we are going to be shuffled on to the local communal room area in our little village. Okay. And so Farmer Kranich insists. He comes down from that rafter and he says, all right, let's do this the right way. Come on, everyone. And he just herds everyone into the local community room. Now it is the evening, so it's dark and shadowy. But when you're having a night of drinks, maybe that feels a little more intimate and nice. So here we are. Farmer Kranich is here, standing at the corner of the bar. Oh, Nifty. We can't forget Nifty.
You can't.
No, of course not. All right. So here we are. Now, we've all been herded into this little communal area, and Farmer Kranich says, okay. Now that we are all here, and I can hear what you're talking about, let's discuss. Maybe, let's see. What brings you all here to Denaria? And by the way, drinks? Anyone?
I'll definitely have a drink.
I'm having difficulty getting a read on Farmer Kranich, but I will accept his drink.
Dimly the dwarf jumps at the offer and says, yes, have you got ale? Geez, what does a dwarf have to do for a drink around here?
I'll take a water, since if I drink in front of him, I'll never be able to ask his daughter out.
Good move.
Nice.
I'll just seat myself at one of these tables, put my legs on the table, because I have no idea what's going on here. Why is he acting this way? I'm fascinated by these adventurers. I really want to talk to them, but I never expected him to act this way. I've never seen this before.
Got it. Okay.
It's getting late out, and my parents are probably wondering, where is he? Did he finish all his chores yet? So I'm just going to chill out and watch what's going on here.
All right.
That's
pretty good.
And since we're closer to these adventurers, I'd like to get a closer look on if they have, any battle scars. And I know we were listening when they were talking to, when they were talking to Rand. But yeah, just very interested.
Yeah, sure. So as you look closer, you notice Dimly in particular. Now, Dimly has this very effervescent, twinkling, mischievous kind of demeanor to him. But when you look closer, you notice that he has some deep scars on his face. You notice a little piece of one of his ears is missing. You look over at Soup, who is kind of just touching things. And you notice that one of Soup's hands is missing a pinky finger.
I have a question about Lady Evelyn's bow. Are we sure that it was handmade?
That was just the initial impression. You don't know for sure that it's handmade, but it's crafted with a very high quality.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably wasn't made in a factory.
Probably not.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You also notice that Soup, as Soup is sitting there touching things, Soup is also very tense. Soup is on high alert and seems to be constantly looking around at all the tiny noises.
I notice this and I go right up to Soup and I ask, "Hey, are you okay?"
Wow. Thank you for asking. Nobody has ever asked me that before.
Oh, really? I ask everybody if they're okay.
I don't know what to say. I think I'm okay.
Well,
And then Soup just kind of falls silent, falls into a deep, pensive thought, or kind of 1,000-yard stares.
I'm just going to yell across the room and be like, "Hey, Soup, what's your deal?"
Soup gives you the stank eye and then just kind of like retreats further into the table. And at that moment, we have the bartender who whips up a whole bunch of glasses and says, "All right, ale for everyone."
Woo.
And at that moment, ale for everyone. At that moment, we also have one of the villagers who comes in and says, "Hey!" So this is where you all were. Okay. Oh, I can't find the rake guy again. Oh, wait, I think I did. Rake man! Here he is.
There he is.
Yeah. So we have one of the villagers who busts in. Didn't want to miss the party.
Ah, it's Rake Guy.
Yes, he goes to the bartender and gets himself his usual, and then he retreats in the corner and starts drinking.
As the bartender is pouring drinks for everyone, everyone gets like a full glass of ale. But Nifty, you notice that when the bartender gets to you, you get just a couple splashes.
hey, I'm supposed to get a full glass. You know I'm of age. I'm 20.
Oh, please. And the
That's
bartender,
an adult in halfling years. You know this.
the bartender kind of looks over at Dimly and chuckles and says, "Ah, she's a little girl. She can't handle her drinks."
Hey now.
Do I notice this?
Where are you? Yes, yeah.
I'll address the bartender. I'll say, "What are you doing? Give her a full drink."
All right. I mean, she's
And for that
tiny.
matter,
Okay.
why not? Give me one too, please. A pumpkin ale. I don't care about Pharmacratic anymore.
Okay.
I just want to know if these cool adventures been to Waterdeep. Even though we're only like 10 miles away, it's like I've never been there. I want to go there so bad.
Oh, one day round. And so the bartender goes, okay, and pours everyone their drink. And Nifty, you do get your full beverage, but only after the bartender kind of scoffs a little bit. All right. Pours you your drink.
I say to Rand, thanks, but I mean, I could have gotten it myself.
Oh, just trying to help.
I know.
Rake Guy is drinking in the corner somewhere. Is that the case?
Yes. Right guy's drinking in the corner somewhere.
I think you can also control that guy, or you should be able to, if you want.
Oh, here we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drinking alone in the corner is very much a vibe that I respect, so I'm gonna pop over to Rake Guy and be like, "Hey, mind if I join you over here?"
Yeah, I think I'll go there too.
If you must, sure.
Say, what was up with that meeting at the barn seemed like it was pretty crazy, and you were the only person that recognized that it was pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy, but I don't get paid with my rake if I don't attend the meetings, so I have to go.
That's weird corporate policy.
It is very weird corporate policy. I mean, I didn't even notice that it was time, and I forgot my shirt, so that's what happened.
That's a pain. What was the meeting about? Who are these outsiders that Kranich is all pissed about?
Well, Kranich is a type of guy who likes to protect us all, in his own way. You know, he there's been an incident. He doesn't like outsiders because, well, one of our own pretty much perished because of what happened. Because of an outsider.
Oh man, that sounds really rough. What happened, if you don't mind talking about it?
I prefer not to. I mean,
That's legit.
no offense, but you're pretty much an outsider to me too.
I think that's a reasonable response. That's why I was feeling kind of skeevy in the meeting, because angry mobs, they can pop up any second around these parts.
Yeah.
But well, cool.
I hope you didn't get freaked out with my freak out.
No, Soup was over there. Were you freaked out by Soup? He's a freaky looking guy.
He's pretty freaky. Do you know that guy?
Not really. He doesn't talk a lot. I asked him what his deal was. I didn't get a firm response. But he's hanging out with this awesome elf lady, and she seems all right. So she vouched for him.
Do you know if he likes shovels by any chance?
I mean, he doesn't talk a lot, but maybe if you, I don't know, maybe you asked him if he likes shovels, that would be a good, good conversation starter.
Well, here's the thing, right? If he likes shovels, don't talk to him. Gotcha. Rakes is the best.
Well, he's missing a pinky on one of his fingers, which could be a problem for shoveling. So I don't know, maybe that's something to do with that. But
he probably got it from shoveling too much. Just
that'll
saying.
happen. That'll happen to you.
Name's Drake, by the way.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Caesar. I'm a high elf. But I'm chill. I'm from Greyhawk.
Oh,
cool.
I've never been to Greyhawk.
Yeah, it's all right. A lot of high elves. Cool.
So as you're having this conversation, you hear coming from back at the bar, Dimly is going on and on about all these battle stories, and I guess Nifty and the bartender are still there, kind of listening to his tales. And all of a sudden, Soup says, "Hey, do you guys remember Kildrak?" And when Soup says that, Lady Evelyn and Dimly both fall silent and immediately look at him. And Dimly, suddenly his demeanor starts to change. And Dimly turns to Lady Evelyn with tears in his eyes. And he says, "It's my fault. I couldn't save him."
Do Steve and I hear this on the other side of the bar?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll walk over there and I'll start to listen to them a little more.
Yeah, maybe like Drake, Soup just started talking, so I'm going to go see what his deal is.
Bye.
Peace. Pleasure to meet you.
Since I'm right there, I listen silently, but I try to, despite my stature, I try to hold either Soup's hand or Evelyn's hand, since I'm like catty corner between them.
You're holding hands. That's so cute. Okay. So when Dimly says, "It's my fault. I couldn't save him," Lady Evelyn, she quickly holds him, and then she pulls back and puts her elegant elf hand under his gigantic dwarf beard, and she lifts his chin, and she says dimly, "We did everything we could. We couldn't have done anything more." And when they look at each other, they both start weeping. And suddenly the demeanor or the vibe has completely changed. Lady Evelyn and Dimly are crying, holding each other, and Soup is still sitting there, silent, but shaking, trembling. And at this moment, Farmer Krennic, he comes up quickly and he says, all right. I think it's time to wrap this up, folks.
I'll say, wrap what up?
All of this mushy gushy, I don't know why we're sitting here crying. There's work to do in the morning, Rand. You know that. We have to tend to the pumpkins.
Yes, put my mug down.
And Farmer Krennic says, all right, so finish up your drinks. Everyone, let's go. Let's wrap it up. Time to go to bed.
I'll gather up some courage. I'll take one last swig. I'll say, you're just the speaker of the town, Farmer. You're not the mayor.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what authority does Krennic have over who's in what location at any given time? It doesn't seem...
Being only 17, I'll start to get a little pouty. Like, you're not my father. You can't tell me to go to bed and leave.
Excuse me? Don't question my authority. You know the way things work around here, Rand. You've grown up here your whole life.
Well, I've never been privy to any of these secret town meetings. My father's on the town board. I'm going to tell him about this. And I don't know what you're talking about, something about the lights, and I don't understand any of this stuff. And outsiders, and it doesn't sound right to me.
I'm going
Besides,
to
I'm
have
trying to get to know these people. They seem pretty cool. It's not that late.
I see you don't know the ways of our town, Rand.
What are you talking about, the ways? We're farmers. I've grown up here. I've never heard of the ways. I don't know what you mean.
And when you say that, Farmer Krennic says, I'll talk to your father about this.
But I'm going to talk to him first.
And he's gone.
And I'm like, oh, nuts. What do I do now? I'm going to be a man. I'm going to sit here and hang out with my new friends. That's right.
After that exchange is over, you see that Lady Evelyn and Dimly are both just like chugging. They're just trying to just get alcohol into their face at this point.
I'll say, guys, slow down. We have a couple hours till he closes.
I just start to reluctantly put my drink down and I say, hey, we should get together and adventure. I feel like me and Rand and Caesar could be great additions to your team.
I just kind of spit out like, adventure? What are you talking about, adventure? I got chores to do. I can't go adventuring. My dad would kill me.
This could be your chance, Rand, to get out of this town.
I'll go and get another drink. And I'll come and sit back down and like stare at her like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. Just don't talk that way.
But you told me this was your dream.
Yeah, but who's gonna tend the orchards? I can't just leave. I don't know anything about the outside world. I haven't even held a sword before.
But we can learn and they can teach us.
But there's scary things out there. There's goblins and orcs. We can't. And I'm just like, swigging as I'm having a panic attack.
I readjust my fishbowl backpack and I say, I feel like Quippy could use a friend. And I've always really wanted to see the world, so.
So at this point,
Well-
right, the rake guy like goes to you over here.
Drake.
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 Drake the rake guy. Drake of the rake says, "Oh wait, oh, he's over here. Hold on. Okay, I couldn't help but overhear, Rand, that you're having this problem of whether or not you should go and adventure.
Well,
Is
I've
that
always
right?
wanted to see the outside world, you know.
Let me tell you this: you're 17. I'm 66. You want to grow up like me, raking things all day and not seeing the world and following the guy like you know who? Is that what you want?
Well, I figured I'd just take over my dad's
Didn't
farm.
think so.
Okay.
Get out there.
I'd really miss.
Show 'em.
Well,
And you can smell the alcohol.
Yeah.
It's fresh.
I'm
I'll be
pretty
mum with
convinced at this point. Yeah, Rand, this sounds.
something about like I'll miss Morgwin, and never got to dance with her if I leave. But I can't. But I'll look at Quippy and say, if you're gonna go, then I guess I'm gonna go.
And I got nothing else to do, so I'm in.
I'm 100% in.
Right. You guys go for it.
I'll ask our new friends. Well, can we come with you guys? It's kind of boring around here.
When you look over, you see that Dimly is already so drunk that he's just passed out on the bar. Like he's like his face is down, his cheek is like smushed, and he's just kind of drooling on his own face. Lady Evelyn is wobbling a little bit, but she says she's coherent enough to say, "Thank you, but we're okay. We're fine. We don't need you."
Oh, nuts.
Put the cart before the horse on that one, I think. All
Well,
right.
But like you guys, you should have your own adventure. Like Dimly and I, we started adventuring together, and it was great, and it was just us. So you should go yourself adventure. And then she slumps down next to Dimly and is soon snoring into the counter.
Yeah, I'm down. I don't know how one starts adventuring. I don't know where to go, but I'm up for it.
And Soup looks at you and says, "You just go."
Thanks, Soup.
well,
Let's
so
go.
guys, why don't we let's go to Waterdeep.
Sounds like a great idea.
Hold on. How about the funding and all that?
Funding? What do you
I
mean?
mean, how do you pay for all that stuff? You can't just ask your dad, Rand.
Oh, don't tell my dad. He'll kill me. No, we funding. I have a backpack, and I think we have an old heirloom, my grandfather's old sword.
Trying to
Apparently,
steal from your family heirloom?
well, if it's a family heirloom, I'm not really stealing, am I?
Nice.
Okay, you got a point.
Yeah, solid logic.
I have some savings. I have a couple of gold pieces.
I got money, but I don't like talking about it. But yeah, we can probably figure it out.
So why don't we go to Waterdeep, guys?
Let's yeah,
I'm down. Let's go.
I'm down for sure.
Should I tell my parents first? I don't know. I don't want them to wake up and think that I just ran off. Maybe I should leave them a note.
Yeah, are you literate, Rand? Can you read or write?
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, could you do that for me?
I can do that. I got my scholars pack here and a little bottle of ink and a little ink pen, and I can. Can your parents read though? Are that something? Should we leave them a note? Is what I'm asking. Does it make sense for us to leave them a note?
Well, Now that I think about it, my mom and dad can read a little bit. Yeah, I just haven't paid too much attention in school.
Gotcha. So I'll leave a note saying, Rand is fine. Is that something that
Okay, they'll be worried about me.
they won't be if we just say that?
No,
Or
they'll be worried about me. So yeah, Rand is fine.
yeah.
And
How
don't
about
tell him I
pictures?
went off with you. Tell him I went off with you and Dippy. I'm sorry, Clippy to Waterdeep.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
How about pictures? Can they read pictures? We can, draw your face and a smiley face. That way they
can
know that
read
you're
a little
okay.
bit.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna write it in super fancy calligraphy because I'm overeducated.
What
And
is
yeah,
that? I look at that. That's writing.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, so
Okay.
let's drop this off at your place, and then we can.
Well, I gotta get my grandfather's sword. I'm gonna have to sneak
Perfect.
in. They'll be asleep by now.
Perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone.
And I gotta get my backpack. I gotta feed my dogs and my cats. And could we stop off at Krennic so I can say goodbye to Morgwin?
I don't see why not.
Oh. Okay, so then let's say for the sake of time, you do all your things.
Mhm.
You drop off your note, you throw a pebble at Morgan's window, and you bid her adieu.
I finally give her a kiss after all this time, and I just run off in embarrassment.
Oh. You run away with your tail between your legs.
Totally.
And she looks
Feeling like
after
a grown up.
Oh, a real man.
A real grown up. Yes.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Even though
You go,
I was
Rand.
actually kissing her nose instead of her lips, but that's okay.
The thrill of a lifetime. And so,
yay!
amazing. And so, our brave adventurers leave the town of Denaria and head into the nearby woods. Now, it's going to be kind of interesting. We are exiting the town and starting on the path. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're starting on the path that's right outside of town. And oh my gosh, Nifty! We need you. Let me bring you in.
I know.
Why am I
running
keep calling
everything.
you Quippy? You're Nifty. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're the same person.
Quipper
Quippy
Nifty.
the
The
fish.
fish is something with a Q.
Quippy, yeah.
Quippy, got
Quippy
it.
the fish. Nifty the person.
Halfling.
I guess you're not a person.
I'm half of a person.
Half of a person.
Well, one whole soul.
Getting deja vu. I think we had this conversation before with another character. Half of a
Gotcha.
Anyways.
Okay.
There's the beauty of just starting out new characters in D&D. We're still getting to know each other.
So
Anything is possible.
That's right.
Yay! All right, so you find yourself on the wooded path right outside of the little village of Denaria. Rand, this is your first time outside of the village, so you've actually never seen this path before.
Well, I've actually snuck out in the woods a couple of times, so I might have seen it, but I've never actually been on it.
Oh my.
It's one of those Samwise things where if I take one step more, it'll be farthest away from home I've ever been. Even though I can turn around and still see my house.
Perfect.
Totally sheltered.
Yes. So here we are on the path. Our sheltered boy Rand is on his way adventuring for the first time. And I guess Caesar and Nifty, maybe you've seen this kind of thing before if you have traveled elsewhere. But yeah, just you can kind of walk along on the path and you move a little bit slowly, if you will.
So we're walking.
Just walking along, starting your adventure.
I'm like, Steve, had the thing with Morgan go?
Well, you were there.
I'm just
You
thinking
didn't
about
see
how
me.
you feel about it, you know?
Oh, I'm just wondering what I could get her in Waterdeep. Maybe like a necklace or something. I
That sounds
pulled
like
out my 2 gold pieces. Like this is enough, right?
maybe. I don't know what inflation's like in Waterdeep.
What?
It's a whole thing. So we're walking along.
Walking, making your way on your first big adventure all together as a team. Oh, Rand, you're right back there.
Having problems with my map on roll 20. Hold on.
Oh, no problem.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't know, guys. I would have felt better if the adventurers had come with us.
I think we'll be fine.
We should be okay. I can like shoot fireballs and stuff. So like, you know, I'm a pretty skilled wizard, but
Wow, I'm looking at him all wide-eyed.
I haven't really done it like to like a living thing before, but like I definitely can do stuff like that. But it'd be cool to see how that goes.
All right, so Caesar, as you are walking along, you were the first to approach this rock on the side of the road. So as you get closer to that rock on the side of the road, out pops a furious goblin. And this goblin, or you can zoom in a little bit to see the art, but this is a very intense and very angry goblin who is charging at you, holding some sort of stick weapon aloft.
Now, I've never actually seen a goblin before, so I'm just freaked out.
The goblin is screaming, "Yeah!" And as it gets closer, it starts screaming, "How dare you rob me! I don't have anything, and you took everything that was left. Now I have nothing."
I'll look over at Nifty and say, "What do we do? What do we do?"
I mean, we didn't take anything. Hey, I try to yell at the goblin. We didn't take anything.
And now you're lying! You're thieves and you're liars! And as the goblin gets closer, you see that the goblin's kind of like stumbling a little bit. Goblin gets closer. You can start to smell the stench of alcohol coming off of them. And then you start to hear them start to slur their words a little bit. And they're just...
Guys, why don't we just run away? He's drunk. He can't catch us.
No, that's true.
You stole from me.
I just back away.
I'll be like, listen, Mr. Goblin, what's your name?
Caesar, the goblin, runs into you and just tackles you and tries to throw you to the floor.
Uh-oh.
However, you are a big elf. So, so when the goblin tackles you, they end up just kind of like bashing into your kneecap really hard.
My kneecap. That was unpleasant. You goblin. I didn't take any of your stuff, and now you're bashing into my kneecaps. Unkind.
I'll go running over there, and I'll stand by Caesar and say, "Hey, don't do that. Leave him alone. We didn't do anything to you."
Stop lying! You took my gold! Give me back my money!
I'll say, "I don't know what you're talking about. We just passed by. We didn't take your money."
Yeah, none of us has a lot of money, you know. We're all equally, you know, cash poor. None of us, we didn't take your money.
All right. At this point, and this is, at this point, the goblin stands there slightly weaving in place. I say, listen, I know you're all filthy liars. You stole from me, and now you're pretending you didn't. You're gonna pay.
I think we might have
And
to.
at this point, and at this point, the goblin launches at you with their stick, clearly preparing for an attack. Now, we are an hour and 10 minutes into the video, so we can leave off here and jump into the combat next time, or we can play it out now. What do you guys prefer?
Then we just play it out now.
Mm.
I mean, if this seems like the
Oh, could be a good
culminating-
place for a cliffhanger.
fair.
Okay. Well,
Either way.
all right. Well, in that case, let's leave it on a cliffhanger, and we can come back to the combat next time.
All right.
Deal with that goblin in the next play episode. But that wraps up play episode 1. Woo! Amazing job, everyone. Oh my gosh. And I had a lot of fun getting to know your characters already. I love Drake the Rake guy. We're gonna have to see if we can bring him back.
Amazing.
Dude's a legend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
66 years old, looks great without his shirt on. The guy's awesome.
That's right.
All that just from raking.
It's a lifestyle.
That's right.
So thank you so much to all of you, the players, for being here and participating in our very first play episode. This was grand. Thank you so much to our audience members out there, both in the present moment and if you are watching this video in the future, hello from the past. So yeah, that's just me living my best dorky life. But thank you again for being here. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And I look forward to seeing you again next time on our Clarity episode.
See you next time.
See you next time,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye.